All right, what's up? So here at Hollywood Unlocked, we like to feature people that we know are on their way to superstardom, and then we like to get them before they get there. It's so funny. Recently, I'm here with Mystic Zach Hirsch. I was with Andra Day. She just won the Golden Globe, and we were at Evan Ross's birthday party, and we were kind of recounting the days where she was on her come up, and she used to sing live at this place here called R&B Live, and it was her and this orange hair guy named what's that guy's name, Ed Sheeran or something like that. Now they're like these big stars, and I think what's so funny is that when you meet people, you never know where their careers are going to go. And I never know that a person like me that doesn't even get into sports would be sitting with a sports broadcaster or a sports commentator. So tell everybody about you, what you do, and how you got there.
Yeah, so I've been doing sports broadcasting, sports analyst type stuff for a few years now. I'm only 19, so it started off as like a high school senior project. They told me, Zach, you should start honing into your passion of sport. So I started up a little blog called iPickWins.com, which I ended up doing really good on the Instagram side of things, hanging out with the influencers, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Shannon Briggs brought me in, stuff like that. And then from there, I started to get interviews with those guys, and then I started to do sports broadcasting stuff with Impact Network and Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, stuff like that. So it's been cool to evolve and grow as a sports broadcaster and as a social influencer, kind of, which I never expected. So.
Okay, so why sports though? Like, with social influence, I see a lot of the influencers like Jake and Logan now getting into sports, whereas they started out just doing viral, dumb videos. Why did you start in sports and not all the other crazy stuff that those younger people were doing?
Yeah, sports is my number one passion since I was young. 4 years old, my dad had a boxing gym, so I grew up around the sport. I grew up around pretty much all sports, and when I was younger, I would play Madden and try to memorize all the rosters. And when I was about 10, my dad went to a smoothie shop, and they were doing a little football pool. He put in $50, winner gets 500, and he brought me back one. I didn't really think about it. I filled it out, and he went back a few months later, and they were like, "Are you Zach?" He's like, "No, it's my son's name." They're like, "Oh, he won our football pool." And he's like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah," and he got all the picks right. We never had that before. So
Man,
I
how
knew
old were you?
I was like 10, yeah.
Okay, but look, recently, okay, so I'm on this app called Bigo Live, and I was on there a couple weeks ago, and I was scrolling through, and I ran into somebody. I think they hustled me. They were telling me they were betting on the games. Now, I don't watch football, so I know nothing, but Floyd Mayweather, who I know you've
Yeah.
met, is a good friend of mine. And I would usually go to him for advice, but on this instance, I chose to do it on my own, so I picked 9 teams to win, and I lost everything. So how do you know what teams are going to win? Is there like a process that you go in analyzing, like injuries and who's won? I mean, what is the process?
Yeah, a lot of it is analytics, and I went to the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference before, and I'm very involved in the actual data of things, the actual science of it, and kind of really breaking it down. And a lot of it's what I see. I have a photographic memory, and I watch all football, so that really helps me as well. And analyzing the roster, injuries, where the game's being played, the current roster, the coaching philosophies, the past wins and losses against each other. That's all a big factor. And Floyd's a pretty good sports picker himself. He's pretty
Well,
underrated.
I called Floyd after I made the picks, and he said, "You're going to lose everything." And he was right. I lost everything. So I should have probably called him first. So there's a process to go in understanding the chemistry of the game, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many different factors, and if you don't know what you're doing, I wouldn't suggest doing any sports betting, honestly, unless you're really willing to lose the money, because if you don't know what you're doing, they're going to get you for sure. There's a reason why the casinos and the sports books do so well. It's because most people lose.
Wait, so how old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay, so 19. How old were you when you started all this?
I was 17, so I wasn't even legally able to bet on sports when I started giving out sports betting picks.
Okay, so 19 years old, you're now doing your thing. Do you gamble too? Or are you allowed to gamble? I mean, commentators can gamble.
I could, but I'm not a gambler. I just give out the picks. I let the other people do
But
the
if you
thing.
pick the wins, why wouldn't you be selfish and just pick all the wins for yourself?
That could be another business, but I don't like to get down the gambling path because that's obviously an addictive thing. It's something that I don't really want to get too involved. I don't have time. I do everything I can right now, and if I'm like trying to figure out how much units I have to place on each bet at this particular time, it'll just be a couple more hours a week.
Okay, so 500,000 people or over 500,000 people follow you. How did you gain your following? My understanding is that you do a lot of funny memes. You do funny memes?
Yeah.
So you're a funny guy.
My meme game is pretty strong.
Okay, so give me an example of one of your memes that went the most viral.
There's a funny one. It's like a girl. It's like I'm a I'm an Instagram model, and then it's a picture of me. It's like, and I'm a quarterback on Madden. So it's funny stuff
But
like
she
that.
was a model?
Yeah, it was just like a funny little meme. Like,
So, because one thing I've mastered, I mean, I know how to make things go viral. Usually it's me just talking shit, right? I've not mastered the funny viral memes, is that like a science as well? Like, do you have to really plot out how to make it go viral?
Yeah, you do, and for me, I just template it to sports, right? And I'm really honed in on what's going on in the sports world and what's hot right now, and the funny stuff that's going on. So I just try to kind of apply myself and figure out what's. I make fun of, like, if I get a pick wrong, I'll make a meme about like my face when I got the pick wrong or something like that. Just it's good to keep yourself humble and really understand that it's okay to lose sometimes.
But you have a very niche audience, right? So like they're looking for that type of content. Some people, I think, in content creation just create all types of content hoping to catch a whole bunch of different people. Have you noticed in your success as somebody who's built influence online that you've had to really hone in on the audience that you built and give them what they want?
Yeah, I've been trying to expand lately because before I was like the boxing kid and the Jake Paul and Logan Paul kid. So now I'm trying to get into a little bit of the hip hop world. Like I did the documentary World Star Hip Hop for Michael Hunter, and I've been working with Scott Storch and some of the guys from Dipset, stuff like that. So I've been trying to expand.
Why hip hop? I know hip hop, of course, I'm in the culture. I write about the culture all the time. I mean, that's a very interesting space to go just pivot straight from sports. Why hip hop?
Hip hop's probably my number 2 passion besides sports. I've always loved rap and listening to it and being around it since I was very young. So it's because like Rick Ross performed my brother's bar mitzvah and I was like 4 or 5. So I've been around it for a long time, and I met Hell Rel, J.R. Ryder, Fred Money who's here, 40 Cal. Those guys, they've been really cool. We were cooking up with Scott Storch in the studio. So
wait, so when you say cooking up, you're rapping?
No, I'm putting it all together.
Okay.
I'm kind of like an A&R as well.
Got it. Okay, so you pick wins. You're an A&R. You make funny memes with hot models. All right, so let's go back to the hip hop. Drake or Kanye?
Right now?
Right now, the last album.
Yeah, Kanye.
Really?
Yeah, Donda's better than Certified Lover Boy.
Okay, well, what about Lil Nas X?
He has some bangers for sure.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put on a Lil Nas X album, listen to it all the way through, but I like his singles.
I saw somebody online said it was better than both. I don't know. It's a controversy. I don't want to start.
I like him.
All right, so now you're working with Jadakiss. How did that come about?
Yeah, Jadakiss super dope. Obviously, the Versus battle, he killed Dipset. Everyone saw that. So after that, we built up kind of mutual connection. He called me up on FaceTime. He really wanted to start up a sports show. He's like, I love betting on football. I love giving out picks. I love sports. We gotta do a show. So ever since then, I've been doing everything I can to get everything ready to get our show to launch, and it's gonna be really, really fun.
How did you guys meet?
Through like a mutual friend. I've been a big fan of him for a long time, and then I was at that Versus as well with Triller, on the boxing side of things, and Michael Hunter. So, kind of a couple of things fell into place.
So you went to the Versus between Dipset and them?
Yeah.
Really?
Dipset versus the Lox.
So
yeah.
was it as tense in the room as it looked online?
To be honest, like when I watch it on the film, like it looks way crazier there.
Yeah.
But I knew the Lox was killing them.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't hear half of it because everything's so loud and there's so many people there. It was so crowded. It was crazy environment. I didn't realize the amount of impact that had on the culture.
So Jake and Logan Paul. Now I've known Logan for a while, and Jake, of course, I've seen him around town several times. When you look at their career starting off in social influence and now boxing, and actually legitimately boxing, do you see yourself getting into sports as a boxer?
Yeah, I box. I've been boxing for over a year now. I train with BJ Flores, who's Jake Paul's trainer, so I'll be getting in the ring for sure.
So would you want to see Floyd too?
Would I want to box Floyd?
Yeah.
Hell no. I will never box Floyd Mayweather.
When you saw the video of Jake Paul taking Floyd's hat, I mean, I called Floyd after that and said, I'm surprised you're not in jail for murder. Did you think that was him playing with death?
Yeah, I was there. I was with Jake. And then,
were you?
Yeah, and then I was in Floyd's locker room after. And
weren't you afraid for his safety?
A little bit. I was like a little bit worried, like they were gonna really get Jake, and Jake's like a friend of mine, so I was like kind of gonna step towards them, and then Floyd had like 8-7-foot security guards. I mean, you know him, you know Floyd, so you don't really want to get in between that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jake's lucky he didn't take more.
But Jake knows how to make things go viral. Is that where you learned the how to do the online thing?
Yeah, a lot of it. As far as social influence side, that all came from Logan and Jake. I was just a boxing guy, a sports guy, and then as far as the actual influencing social media side of it, that came from them.
So when people look at you influencers, and I feel like they don't really give you guys enough respect and credit for the hard work. It's hard work. You don't just wake up, turn on the camera, and all of a sudden you have millions and millions of views and thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers. Because if that was true, we would all be doing it. I mean, I do it, but everybody else would be doing it. How did you know that you knew what you were doing? When did you know you knew what you were doing?
I knew pretty It kind of happened quick. Like on my Instagram at iPickWins, like it kind of blew up a little bit early. Like I was at like 30,000 for a while with the videos with Jake and Logan, and those did real well in the lead up to the KSI fight, which being in LA, that was a big fight at Staples Center. So, but getting my presence on camera and being able to adapt it to different environments and really being able to be more appealing to all audiences was something that took a while.
When you look at Triller, as an amazing platform as it is, do you and the other influencers ever talk about owning your own platform like that? Because that's really where the value is.
Yeah, for sure. Working with World Star Hip Hop as well, Triller, those types of
They
things.
just sold. World Star just sold, right? Yeah, I think they just sold.
Did they?
Yeah, they sold. I mean, it's not the people that used to own it before. At least. That's
Oh,
what I
okay.
was-
Yeah. So my guy Danny over there is doing
I
big
know Danny.
things, and yeah, so it definitely makes you want to start up your own platform. Barstool Sports, that's close to, and that's what made me want to start PickWins.com, which is my daily prop site, and kind of expand into a growing market and put my own take on it, and my own twist.
So when you go to PickWins.com, what are people going to find?
You're going to find daily props, which is, in sports term, it's a proposition that a player is going to achieve a certain statistic. So if you're a big Tom Brady fan, it might be 250 passing yards, more or less, and you just pick. It's a fun, adaptive game that's getting really popular right now.
So what are some of the people that you've collaborated with that people would know?
Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Roy Jones Jr., Canelo Alvarez, a lot of people in a couple different industries.
How do you hustle all these people up? Just on your own hustle, or just relationships, or how do you meet them? How do you meet them all?
Yeah, relationship building is something that I value a lot, and when I make a relationship, I don't ask for too much. I don't ruin the relationship. I value the connections that I make, and I think being able to separate yourself from the person and realize that they're a person too, and not treat them like they're an ultra, not necessarily like an ultra famous person, but different. You want to treat them like
It's
I
hard to
would
treat
you.
Floyd like a regular person, though.
But I do my best,
Yeah,
and
I do too.
that's how I've been able to maintain my connections with people. But Floyd's definitely different than most celebrities.
Yeah.
He's that level.
Yeah. Well, also, I just think that these people, we were just with Rihanna this past weekend, they want to feel normal, and I think when they feel like somebody really sees them as a person and not a product or just a brand or $1 billion, they tend to let their guard down a little more and treat you like a regular person too.
Yeah.
All right, so who have you not collaborated with that you hope at some point they go to PickWins.com or iPickWins on Instagram and then hit you up or slides in the DMs like, yo, I'm ready to work?
That's a good question. Drake's a good one. We said that earlier. He's the hottest right now in the rap game, and then
But you said you like Kanye better.
he's making
Not
better
gonna get
music
you're
right
not
now.
gonna get Drake with that. A certified lover boy ain't gonna love that. You can switch it up. You can switch it up.
I can't, but
Drake, we know each other. He really meant you. Okay. So Drake is somebody. Who else?
Drake would be real cool. LeBron, Tom Brady. We're gonna do some stuff with Des Bryant. There's a lot of people on the horizon, and I love to expand my game and get more to the boxing niche and more into the bigger sports. The footballs, the NBAs of the world for sure.
So it's not just boxing; it's all sports.
Yeah, I do sports handicapping for boxing, NFL, NBA, bare knuckle fighting, and MMA. So.
Okay. So when you saw Jake fight, what was his name?
Tyron Woodley?
Yeah. I mean, didn't you expect more from Tyron? I did. Didn't you expect more, or were you're just Team Jake, so you're just lucky that you got the W?
Yeah, I probably looked at it in a tinted view. Like I was in the locker room with Jake, I walked out with him, so it's like, how can I really have an unbiased point of view? But when I watched the replays back, I thought Tyron was kind of typical. He wasn't super aggressive, but he hasn't been for a long time. And Jake's a big, strong kid who hits hard, so it's kind of hard to just walk him down because.
But did you pick Jake to win?
Yeah.
But is that because you were biased and you walked him out, or because you knew he would win?
No, I get to see the skills that he's been progressing throughout camp. I've been a part of his training camps, and we had the same trainer in BJ Flores, so getting to see his growth and development as a boxer that people hadn't seen because he hadn't fought real competition.
Right.
Nate Robinson isn't going to push him to his limit like Tyron.
Right, but that's
did.
why bet against, Tyron?
Because I saw what Jake did in sparring. That the average person, the casual viewer, didn't get to see. So that was kind of a unique insight that I got to get. And I'm sure on Jake's next fight, people will pick against him again. I'll pick him again, and then he'll win, and then it'll be an ending cycle.
But a lot of people thought that it was a fixed fight. Everybody was saying, "Oh, this is rigged. They just want a second fight." It was almost like a viral influencer video played out in front of the world in a boxing ring. What did you think about that?
I think if Jake wanted to rig it, he wouldn't take a giant right hand from a killer like Tyron Woodley. But that's just me. Like I wouldn't want that part of the rigging. And, you know, you saw with the Floyd and Logan, I mean, you know Floyd well, you know he wouldn't put his reputation, his legacy on the line to rig a fight, and people said that fight was rigged as well, so.
I think Floyd gave him a lot of gave him a lot of room to play around. I mean,
Yeah, but you know he would never rig a fight.
yeah,
You know what I mean? He would
yeah.
never sacrifice that ever, so.
Right.
You know, that's a legit dude. And so is Tyron Woodley. I mean, that's a combat sports legend and a future UFC Hall of Famer, so people are kind of like tainting his legacy, and he's really doing his best out there against Jake. It was a professional fight, and it was a close fight.
I mean, you have to respect Jake. I mean, I remember Jake from just the house parties, you know, to come from the house parties with the girlfriend drama and playing around with Logan all day to, you know, getting in the ring with real contenders. It takes a lot of courage, and I mean, the amount of work you have to do to be prepared for that and the courage. I'm not getting in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, so, and that's my friend, so. All right, so what's next for you? We have the stuff dropping with Jadakiss. We have the website, pickwins.com. We have iPickWins at Instagram. You're online funny memeing with models. You have all the boxer influencers and real boxers. And now probably a Hall of Famer when you go to hang out with Tom Brady. What else?
I'm producing and directing films. You know, I had the Don't Sleep on Jake film, and then I had the one with Michael Hunter on World Star Hip Hop. I'm working on one called Fight for Influence about influencer boxing, so that's really fun. And I'm always trying to keep busy, keep my name in the mix, and try to reach out to different platforms. I'm still in college too, so I got like 5 hours of school a day.
But you're 19, so did you fund all your own stuff, or did you make all your money, or is your family just like sitting on a bunch of bags?
Really, in the beginning, there wasn't much of a budget at all. You know, it was just me and, you know, someone who works with my dad. He would film and edit it, you know, so nothing crazy. There wasn't really that big of a budget, but now I've been lucky enough to get a sponsor in my videos and stuff like that, so we're moving on up.
So are you a one-man team, or you have a team with you?
I have a team with me. I have a photographer, you know, someone to help me edit, sponsor as well, and then people to help put together the moves I make, but a lot of it's on my own.
Nice. Well, listen, there's something to be said about hard work and being dedicated to what you want to do. That's why you're 19 and you're killing it. I see the wrist piece over there. You know, Floyd told me a long time ago that a watch is a man's Bentley in the club. So if it ain't right, then, you know, throw it away. Well, congratulations on all your success. I mean, we'll keep following you and seeing what you're doing. And whenever you do get in the ring, I'll let Floyd know that you're working your way up to him. And, you know, maybe we can set something up and I can get on the bag.
I like to keep my safety and I like to keep my head intact.
You know,
so.
Floyd likes the young fighters to keep them sharp. So.
You don't need to put me against the best ever. I'm not 210 pounds like Logan. You know,
Right.
I can't just.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations on your success and keep killing it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course.